Sustainability.
Shades of Green, Monday morning on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDOME. The Green Alliance, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, fosters, promotes, and offers programs and initiatives that advance environmental sustainability for the past 2 decades. Visit greenalliancenv.org to learn more about the many programs we offer. There's monthly networking events, Shades of Green radio show, high-performance home education, and Drive Clean initiatives. The Green Alliance connects like-minded local Nevadans with the goal of becoming a thriving leader in sustainability. Go to greenalliancenv.org and join today.
Good morning, and we are back. Shades of Green on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM here in the Valley of Sun and Sin. Our show today is sponsored by Green Alliance of Nevada and sponsored by NV Energy. Produced by Green Alliance and sponsored by NV Energy. I'll get that right one of these days. So our guest today is David Kaiserman, president of Lennar Ventures and chairman of Sunstreet. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Sunstreet is a rooftop solar company that you guys have internal to your construction, and we think that's pretty exciting, how you are integrating solar into homes as you're building them so people don't have to add it on later on and pay those extra expenses of a retrofit project. So the value of an integrated solar array on a home when you buy it brand new is pretty high. And as I said earlier, if you sold that home, you would have the benefit of a much higher margin on selling that home with that system installed much cheaper because it was integrated in the construction and not retrofitted. So one of the questions I know that comes up from a lot of people is, how long does that array work? I mean, we want to live in the homes a long time. What's the life expectancy of a solar array?
Yeah, solar's come a long way. I mean, today it's pretty regular to see warranties of 20 plus years, which means that the underlying panels work, 20, 30 years. And so, we expect at minimum 20 years, but we've seen and heard, far longer than that.
Yeah, there are solar arrays that have been out there, in test sites for, I think, 35 years. So yeah. I don't think we really know how long they're going to last now. And we've got improved products that are being used to build solar panels. How about the appurtenances, if you will, the inverters and wiring and breaker boxes and all those kind of things? Are those creating any problems?
No, not at all. In fact, they're kind of keeping pace with technology. So they used to be, these big inverters that look like refrigerators you put in your garage. Today, we have micro inverters. They sit right on the back of our panels. And the large devices that you used to see with solar in your garage, they're kind of gone. And so solar has very much taken the path of technologies, just like those cell phones used to have that used to look like bricks are now slim enough to sit, maybe fit in the palm of your hand in your pocket. Solar's kind of taken the same path.
And do you also, and this is not on the script, but do you also include the opportunity or the option of including battery storage?
We haven't yet, but it's something that we're really interested in and we're looking at. And we think batteries really offer a really interesting opportunity to not go off grid, not to use them as a means of, disconnecting from the utility, but rather in a model called self-consumption, where it's there to balance times where where you make energy that you don't use, instead of sending that back to the grid and then buying it back. It's somewhat inefficient transaction. Batteries to be there to help with that net metering risk. And so we haven't done it yet, but we're very, very interested in it. And we've been spending a lot of time really studying it very hard.
Well, a lot of people, and hopefully I can clear this up, a lot of people think if you get solar, you go off the grid. Well,
right.
That is not the case, because you're only kind of augmenting the grid. But you do have control over the power that you're generating, the power that you're using. And so if you had batteries, you can charge batteries all day, then use them all night. And the majority of your power would come from your system. The real benefit is locking in your electric bill for 20 years and knowing what you're going to pay every month. So independent of regulations and increases and what the utility company decides to do, or the PUC, you have control of your own utility bill. So that's really the benefit. Plus, we all like being green out there, don't we?
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, being green is a term that we hear a lot, but I think more and more it's not only the environmental benefits that it provides. I mean, living in a modern, state-of-the-art way is really a melding of the environment and technology and your family and all these things coming together into one easy-to-use system, right? Ecosystem. And building solar homes is part of that ecosystem for us. So I see people more who like the notion of being green, but I actually see a whole new segment of people emerging who like the notion of living in a state-of-the-art way. And for them, solar is that state-of-the-art way. It happens to be a wonderfully green technology, but it's not the only motivator, right? A lot of people just want to do new things.
It is clean. It is environmentally safer. It's better, and like you say, it is state-of-the-art. When you, how did you organize and structure the business model of Sunstreet so that it would become profitable as a company business grew?
Yeah, real simple. Because we include solar as a standard feature of every home, we don't have a customer acquisition cost. That means we're able to save money on things like marketing and advertising that have historically been very expensive, and take that value and turn it into these programs where we can offer you solar for 20 years at 20% below retail rates. We can include it in the course of construction and offer you full service, white glove service to activate your home. And so we've been very focused on the business of both being green and making green. We think it's very important that the businesses that offer solar are profitable businesses that are healthy and will be here for the long haul. And so we've focused on customer acquisition costs and keeping that low and keeping our production efficiencies high, and it's done us well up until now.
Great. How many new jobs are you developing when you're, because of Sunstreet? I know you're creating jobs when you're building homes, but how many more jobs are you adding in there because of the Sunstreet business?
I don't know that question. It's not something I've looked at. I'm sure we're generating a nice amount, but I haven't really looked at it in that specific way, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, that's great. We did a study in the past, and it appeared about 20 jobs per $1 million, 20
Wow.
full-time jobs per $1 million. So
Yeah.
here in Nevada, the environment and the housing market, how's that suited to Sunstreet business model?
Well, it's better. As everybody saw, there was a little bit of fireworks before, and it used to have net metering, and then it didn't have net metering. But I think, what you can take from that is the prospect of these new technologies is scary to some. And it's going to take time for people to get used to these new technologies and the disruption that it comes with. And so I'd say the policy environment in respect of net metering is better. I think, one of the things that other states have that Nevada doesn't have is this notion of being able to look at how you build a home and give real credit to solar as you would the insulation or the air conditioning in your home. And by that I mean really allowing homes to manage themselves to a bottom line energy usage, regardless of whether it's made on the roof or saved because you're putting in better technology. That doesn't exist in Nevada today. We're hopeful that it will. So I'd say it's a mixed bag.
So speaking of that, and we'll talk more about this when we come back, but I want to talk about how you build efficiency into your homes. What are some of the specific things? And also, how do you abide by the rules of sustainability when it comes to sourcing materials and construction and that kind of thing? We'll talk about that when we come back. Shades of Green on KDWN. We'll be right back.